It's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill and jail to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary. 'Cause comfortable is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-rat-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
to anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-rat-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. The world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid. But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made.
Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-rat-terry-o-dee-da-dee. A fwit-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Adventures waiting further down the road. Let's go! Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. La-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hello, friends. I love that I'm just like writing because it's happening. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me on Flash Phantasmagoria / I hate myself only when I'm tired. I figured that out recently, mostly from the sleep deprivation from the baby. I think that's probably just always been a thing, but I never knew. Yeah, so here we are. Before we get started, gonna thank all our friends for doing cool stuff. Our friends 3D2U personalized gifts for gamers. You can find them on 3d2u.org or follow them on Facebook and Instagram. I believe they are still doing some public vending events right now, especially in the New Jersey area. So please check out their socials if you are interested in checking out some of their stuff. Also, this is neat. Boop. Yuletide Monster Mugs featuring original artwork by Madame Ansa, our very own Madame Ansa. You can find them on mabsmobilemercantile.com. I think they look super cool. I really want the Let Us See and Make Merry, Mary Lude. I think that that's fascinating and such a cool thing. So definitely check that out. Also, in the same vein, we have limited time offering gummy owl bears from Nat 21 Adventures. These are a special order for proceeds going to the Renaissance, oh gosh, RCEAF. It's disaster fund for Renaissance performers and vendors, for people who have had their stuff cleared out. I know a lot of you know that stuff has been happening in terms of like hurricanes, obviously, but right before one of the big hurricanes, I think right before Helene came through, there was a fairy festival in York, Pennsylvania, which is very close to where my parents live. And they had a tornado-like event that came through and just blew all of their stuff all over the place. People's tents were broken. People's merch was just thrown all about. A lot of people lost a lot of stuff. So RCEAF is a really great organization to support. It helps events that you have heard of and some events that you may not have heard of if you're not local to an area. But yeah, definitely check out their stuff. Oh, also two other things. Destination D&D / Ren Adventures. I know that they have an event coming up. I don't remember where that is. Is it this one? Yeah. Coming up in New Orleans, we're going to be doing really awesome Ren Adventures tours. There's going to be some really fun stuff going on, live gameplay, live entertainment. I know at some point we're all going to go to the Renaissance Festival in Hammond, Louisiana. And there's going to be tours around New Orleans itself. So you should definitely check that out. renadventures.com. I don't know if they have that many spots available. Also, I have a book and it's out. It's called Dread. I will put in the tiny URL because I did remember how to do that. Thank you, Shakespeare. tinyurl.com / Dread the book. That's where it's available. You can just copy and paste that into your browser and it will take you directly to my book on Amazon. Also, if you have already bought it, for anyone who's watching this or watching on the replay, if you have already bought it and you could leave me a review, that certainly helps with the algorithms and with being seen for new people. But it's still cool. I'm proud of myself enough that I wrote a book. Oh, also, just wanted to point out, these are like super crazy cool earrings. So there we go. It's a coffin shape, and then it has a big freaky looking squid on it. I don't think that that's Magna Pina. No, because those ones have really, really long tentacles. I think this is more like what are those red devil squid? I don't know. Anyway, buried squid. It looks cool. All right. Oh, so we are here. We are doing the writing. Phantasmagoria is a sequence of real or imaginary images like those seen in a dream. The way I like to characterize it is everything is normal except. So maybe you're walking through, it's like a dream. So you're walking through your high school. Even if it doesn't actually look like your high school, in your brain is saying, this is my high school. And you're walking through your high school and everything looks normal, except there's a door that's open that's usually not open, except there's a stairwell that doesn't normally exist in your high school. Any number of things. So it's everything is normal except, and it's that exception that makes the story interesting. I like setting things in reality as much as possible and throwing in an exception. So that's kind of where I'm going with the Flash Phantasmagoria type stuff. Also, I have my fancy, if you got it, haunted mug with water in it, as I have not been drinking enough water lately. Okay. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of minutes. Eventually it'll just be 5 minutes with a accompanying song. And we're going to write something. Based on your prompts, based on whatever we come up with, based on random things I see around my room, like my happy little zip drive that is Kylo Ren. I think he's fascinating and I like him a lot. Anyway. All right. So we're starting with normal. Let's go with high school. Actually, I haven't written anything about my high school. And I was just seeing a whole bunch of friends posting about, like, oh, yeah, here's my Dover band alumni shirt, which I didn't even know existed. So, yeah, that's the thing. So we're going to go with high school. High school, whatever that means to you. If that means an actual high school, if that means you were at a Montessori program, if that means that you were doing an online high school, whatever it was, high school. High school is going to be some part of the story that we are writing. Now, if anyone has any suggestions in Twitchland or in YouTube Landia for let's do an article of clothing. An article of clothing. It could be a shirt, it could be a jacket, it could be socks, it could be we're not going to go with shoes. Shoes are different. A hat, gloves, anything. So I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to write something in the comments regarding an article of clothing. So high school and then an article of clothing. And we will base our story somewhat around that. Man, I do not know what is going on with allergens in this area, but I'm having some issues. Like it's mold or something. I don't know. All right, a couple more seconds. We'll see if anybody has anything that they want to throw out in terms of an article of clothing. An article of clothing. Let's go with a hat. Hat. Any kind of hat. Whatever hat means to you. It could be a hat with feathers on it, which I just happen to see some feathers nearby. It could be a hat with a band logo on it, or a team logo on it. It could be the high school team. It could be a professional team. It could be anything that you want. But we're going with high school and a hat. Let's see. Now, what else can we do? What is a thing that you wouldn't normally see in a high school? The first thing that comes to mind, and this is a story that my aunt told because she worked at a high school, they did a senior prank, and there were chickens. And they labeled the chickens 1, 2, 3, and 5. And there were only 4 chickens, but for the rest of the day, all of the staff were looking around for chicken number 4. But yeah, there were 4 chickens released into a high school, a Catholic school, somewhere in Annapolis. And yeah, they were labeled 1, 2, 3, and 5. So a chicken. It's a thing you could find in a high school that isn't normal. You know what? I'm going to go with ducks. A duck. There were, not in my high school, but in my middle school, there was a central it's so funny. There was like a central quadrangle that no one was allowed to use for whatever reason. I guess when they built it in the 70s, it was okay for people to go and hang out in the middle and sit at benches and read and do normal things. But I guess by the time I went to middle school in the 90s, they were like, no one's allowed to hang out in here. So there's just this big empty space in the middle of my middle school. And there was a duck that every year laid eggs in the bushes in that space. And eventually the eggs would hatch, and then she would want to go take them to the water. And there's a creek nearby, so it wasn't like it was super far, but they had to walk through the school. So there was I think it was usually a janitor. Probably by the time I was out of there, they probably had security guards, because that's the way American schools work now. But yeah, they had people walk the ducks through the school on a particular day so that they could go out into where the creek was and get to water and do things that ducks do. So yeah, we're gonna go with duck. Okay, so that is our 3 prompts here. I'm gonna put them all in a row. High school, hat, duck. Oh, I have probably been watching too much Mickey Mouse because my daughter loves Mickey Mouse. So this is it's gonna turn into some kind of Disney adventure unintentionally. Also, for the record, if anyone wants to watch The Descendants, it's really good. It's pop music about villains. I'm so here for it. Anyway, so those are our prompts. High school, hat, duck. Now I'm going to give you some stuff. Sharing my screen, sharing some music. I write pretty much everything that I do involving music. So I will give you the information regarding this one. This is from Scott Buckley. It's called Stars in Her Skies, and it is under a Creative Commons share alike non-commercial licensee thing. I'm going to put that in the comments so people can see it. But yeah, this is called Scott Buckley's Stars in Her Skies. Let me pull up the music part. And this is how I write stuff. I like to listen to music while I'm doing it. So this is going to get like 5 minutes on the thingy. 5 minutes on my clock. And we're going to write about high school, a hat, and duck. However you want to do that. It could be poem, that could be drawing, that could be whatever kind of art you want to do. The point is to create art for the next 5 minutes. So no matter what, take some time, create some art. All right, let me start this up and then we'll hit play. All right, you have about 30 seconds left. Conjuring the timer so I didn't freak myself out. Okay. High school, hat, duck. Here's what I wrote. And I will put it in the Discord. Put it in, put it in, put it in. I've been watching way too much children's television. Anyway. High school, hat, duck. Guest speaker. Coming back home, I guess. It doesn't feel like home anymore. All of the hats are different. They used to be Chicago Bulls or Charlotte Hornets. Now they're Kansas City. We don't live near any of those, but it still feels false. I wonder if the children, that's what we were, God, just children, see the lines from my eyes and know I've smiled as much as I've cried. I've survived where they are. They can too. Looking for bright sides anywhere, in a space with few windows and even worse heating and cooling systems. I glance out the window, one of the few on this floor, locked into concrete with no latches. A V of ducks flies south for the winter in a gray New England sky. I don't know why I never noticed how beautiful they were until now. I wrote a non-rhyming poem. I know I can do more, and I know I can do better. But the fact that I did, that I have done something, is enough. That's all we're really looking for here, is just taking a moment to create something, to give yourself the space and the opportunity to actually do it and just be creative for a moment. So thank you for joining me. I hope you all get lots of rest. I have not been, but I'm doing my best. And I hope you get the opportunity to take in some ducks flying, and just enjoy looking at them for a bit. Taking a brief moment to thank all of our sponsors. I'll throw them up here real quick. Mabs Mobile Mercantile has the Yuletide Monster mugs, which are super cool. You should definitely check them out, mabsmobilemercantile.com. Also thanking rentadventures.com. They have an event coming up in New Orleans. Also thanking, there they are, the Gummy Owlbears. This is new. They're a limited time offering donated by the awesome Just Some Guy TN. So Just Some Guy, I guess, Tennessee, from our Discord. Proceeds are going to the RCEAF to help entertainers whose livelihoods have been affected by the recent hurricane damage, hurricane storms, all kinds of stuff. If you've been affected by damage and you work at Renaissance fairs, please check out RCEAF. And you are welcome to apply for stuff. Also, I have a new book out. It's called Dread. If you have already purchased the book, because I know a number of you have, please take the time to go out there and just post a review. The more verified Amazon reviews that I get, the more likely it is to show up in the algorithms, which really helps me to get seen by other folks, to have other people check out my work, which is awesome. So please check it out online. Dread, it's the tiny URL. Where are you? Boo. You are not far. tinyurl.com/dread the book. You can look that up like that. Thank you all so much for joining me, and for just taking the time and the space. Sometimes that's all you need to do, is just take the time and the space. So have a really great rest of your day, and I'm sure I will see you all very soon. Bye.